Here we go again. I moved to a new country and of course feel a little bit unprepared. Let's talk about it.
5 things I wish I knew before I moved to Germany.
All right, we're starting off strong and I'm humbling myself by letting you all know that I don't know German. I moved here to Germany without knowing the local language. But to my defense, with my husband's job, we just did not have time to prepare in advance. He was actually told that he doesn't need to learn the German language to work here, for us to move here. That is fantastic for him, but as always, I find myself in situations where I am encountering more locals, where I want to have certain conversations with people that go beyond just simple pleasantries, and I'm kind of stuck right now. Gideon just started kindy, and that whole place is just German. And I find myself struggling a little bit when it comes to conversating, not just with the adults, but also his classmates. I want to interact with him. They want to interact with me as well, but we're all just trying our best. And so I'm fast tracking my language right now, my language learning right now to get me ahead a little faster. So after this, we both will be practicing our German, as well as just figuring out ways to learn it a little bit faster. If that's listening to the news more often or reading the newspaper, things like that, I'm really trying to get my language skills up so that I'm more comfortable here. But yeah, I definitely wish I knew the German language before moving here. And if you want a video on what I'm currently doing right now, just let me know. And if you have any advice on how I can learn the language a little bit better and a little bit faster, definitely leave your comments down below. Let's talk driving culture here. So it is famously known that the U-Bahn is a very different highway than other highways around the world, especially in the United States. But I find the U-Bahn to be very interesting. The fact that the speeds change depending on what is happening with traffic, what is going on with weather and things like that is so very new to me, and I feel like I was so intimidated when I first started driving. So we got here initially and rented a car, rented a beautiful BMW, because I feel like that is just the German thing to do. And we definitely took advantage of that. And I got so used to driving that BMW that when we had to give it up, sadly, I got really like culturally shocked all of the sudden, like the feeling of, oh wow, now I'm actually here and I'm going to have to really drive for real, set into my mind. And I truly did not want to drive at all. I was telling myself that maybe this is a tour that I would not drive. And I lived in Ecuador. Driving in Ecuador, yes, driving in Ecuador is its own special adventure. It's pretty crazy. And I don't know what it was, but I just felt like, I don't know, I can give you like a separate video on my feelings about life and my emotions, my thoughts, and anxieties that I felt when I first moved here in a later video, but those anxieties definitely transferred over to driving. So I actually had to get over that because I wanted to do more things. I want to do more things. And there were just things I needed to do, places I needed to go. And I could not rely on my husband just to transport myself and my son everywhere. So I took a driver's test. I studied really hard for this test. I was told I didn't really need to study for it, but I'm glad I did, because I think for the practice and for the actual test, I would have not passed by a couple of points. So for me, it was not easy. I wish I would have prepared mentally more for the driving here before moving here. And I wish I don't know if you can like work on your anxieties and things like that before you move to a country, but even a country like Germany where, you know, driving is less of a headache, quote unquote, I felt like I didn't need to do as much research in a way. So I wish I did the research. I wish I put more of a priority on just getting myself ready to drive and also preparing for the test, because there were so many, and there are in real life, so many signs that I know nothing about even after taking the test. I really try hard though. If I see something on the road, I really try to think like, okay, what would this mean? What does this mean? Because everything has a meaning, and even little things like on the test, there were questions about, you know, if you see a tractor on the road, like one of those like farm tractors, if you see one driving on the road, how should you proceed? What should you do? And I'm thinking to myself, why would I see a tractor on the road? That seems like it's a question from older times. But I literally see tractors on the road more often than I ever thought I would. But yeah, if you want a video on that too, because that's something you're interested in, just from my perspective, please let me know. Because now I know a lot more than I did before I moved here. The infamous trash system. I knew that trash and recycling and sustainability would be a thing here, but I did not know it would be an actual thing until it was something I had to pay attention to. And this started when we were in that Airbnb I shared months ago. That little trash system that we had under the sink was really interesting and pretty straightforward. But getting the trash from that and understanding the German words for the types of trash that go in the outside bin was a learning curve for myself and for my husband. My husband less than myself, but it was funny because the first time we didn't get our trash can picked up was when we were like, okay, this is serious. Like, they're not picking up a rest meal trash can. It's the one that most things go into. I don't know, we must have put glass or something that we were not supposed to put in there, and they just did not collect it until the following week. And we had to ask somebody about it. We were really diligent in trying to make sure that we separate everything out and that we're also reusing things as well, so that we are in fact following the rules, but also working on our own sustainability efforts. And I would say that learning to be more sustainable for us has come in different ways. For example, in us monitoring more how much waste we use, how much water we use, what we are packing our things in. For example, I mentioned that my son just started kindy, and I actually packed my son some fish crackers in his little kindy snack pack / lunch bag. For his first day, I didn't even really understand what I should or should not bring, but he finished his fish crackers, and it was so cute because he ended up just using like a plate anyways, because they use like real dishes and stuff at kindy for these little ones, which I think is really cool. After he finished his fish crackers, his teacher gave me back his little bag, and I instinctively knew what she was thinking, and I was like, oh yeah, we can definitely use that bag again, probably for more fish crackers or some other dry snack. And she looked at me and was like, yeah. So after that, you know, no shade at all, and not even trying to take anything personally, I just was like, okay, I need to be better about how I pack things for him, so that we are being more sustainable, and he's also learning to do that for himself. So we did get him a reusable little lunch situation that I'll share in some future videos of me cooking and packing for him. So let me know if you'd be interested in those videos too. So here in Germany, I feel like cash is king. I have run into instances where my card just doesn't work at Aldi, for example, or where I want to get some gelato and there's literally a sign right there at the cash register that says cash only. And I'm still trying to figure out the money situation here, if like an online banking app is the best way to go or local bank is the best way to go. I'm not quite sure, but it's quite embarrassing, honestly, when you are trying to use a card and it doesn't work. And it's not that I don't have money on my card or my account, it just doesn't work. And truthfully, the patience of those who are in service sometimes isn't quite there for me as a foreigner. Sunday culture. So this is something I'm kind of used to, honestly. In Ecuador, shops were in fact closed, but here it's everything. It feels like it's everything. When we first arrived, I was definitely looking for things to do, especially on Sundays when my husband was home, and there just wasn't anything to do. Nowadays, what I try to prioritize is actually using Sundays as they are intended here in Germany, and we call them German Sundays, and we are resting. I am usually meal prepping or doing a little bit of tidying up for the week, and we might go to church. I'm really trying to be better about being more consistent with that. We have base access, so with that, the grocery stores on the base are typically open, but I found myself just extra anxious trying to do so much on a Sunday and realizing we are not using that specific day as we should, which is to rest. So I'm happy that, you know, we have that option. It's a beautiful way to really usher in the new week. And yeah, let me know if you want some more Sunday vlogs, because those are really fun for me to make because they're quiet and chill, and I'm looking to be more chill in my life. Yeah, the camera keeps cutting out. I'm a bit frazzled, so I'm gonna end it here, and I will see you all in the next video. But if you do want a part 2, I'm pretty sure I can get this whole situation fixed and set up for the next video. I feel like I haven't done one of these in a long time, and when I'm a bit rusty, when my child is up and about, although he's a wonderful and, you know, all the things, it's still really hard to film with my toddler, with laundry going and all the things, but I definitely wanted to get a video out to you all this week, so that is what this is. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Mwah.